JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 9th of October 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, just to see how everything's kind of getting along before the week's close. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also, just before we jump into the charts, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So, jumping into German DAX, as you can see, the index remains between these two levels, the ones that I was talking about this morning. Basically, for the upside, still I'm aiming for this 13,116 zone, but to be honest, given today's activity, let's see if actually this is going to get reached during the main European trading hours, because maybe this level could get reached by the cash index, and maybe we could see this index kind of opening with a nice opening gap here to the upside next week on Monday. But however, at the moment, basically, still the positivity is here somehow, or should I say somewhat, but again, I'm still aiming for this 13,116 zone. I need to see a nice good test of this area before we could consider a further move higher. At the moment, the index is not really doing much, to be honest, so maybe it's just ready for Friday, for the weekend, and it's going to leave all the excitement for next week. So for now, if the index kind of remains in this little territory right here, I'll take a bit of a cautious approach. But if it starts dropping below this 13,000 territory again, now this is where we could consider a bit of a correction towards this upside support line. But again, for now, can't really do much here, and the only thing we can do is continue observing the price action. The S&P 500 now had a fantastic move higher, and of course, it managed to stay above this area, above this 3,425 territory. I talked about that one, and what I was saying yesterday, that if we get a nice daily close above this area, then yep, further declines, further acceleration to the upside is possible. If we look at the cash index and where the price is currently sitting at, we can see that the price is balancing around the 3,466 mark. So basically above yesterday's close, but still below this my target. This is 3,479. I'm still aiming for that level. Hopefully we can reach that today. If we overshoot it, then the next little area of possible resistance could be this inside swing low of the 2nd of September, and that's around the 3,535 territory. But again, for that area to kind of for us to aim for that area, we need a nice good pop above this 3,479 zone. But for now, it is stuck here also in this little territory, but where I'm still a bit more positive than negative on all this, and in my next target is, as I said, this 3,479 zone. A nice good drop back below this 3,425 territory might open the door back towards this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line. Jumping into gold, and gold is pushing nicely to the upside. And if we look at the weekly chart, the weekly candle, we can see that yes, it's trading nicely in the positive territory for the week. So of course, let's see if this this commodity is able to stay here above that, well, should I say, stay in that positive zone. At the moment, yes, we are breaking this downside line taken from the high of the 7th of August. But as I told you guys, be very careful near this other downside resistance line, tentative of course, but nevertheless a downside resistance line taken from the high of the 18th of August, which could also provide a bit of resistance. But if that gets broken, now this is where it could look very attractive for the buyers again. So a further move higher could be possible. But again, a violation of this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of August would be needed. Similar story here with silver, but silver is also pushing higher. But as I mentioned to you guys today and yesterday, in order to kind of get excited about the upside, we needed that confirmation break above this 24.40, and we're getting that right now. But as you can see, there the precious metal is currently getting a slight hold up near this 21-day EMA. So in a way, what I would like to see here, I would like to see this daily candle staying above the 24.40 zone and this 21-day EMA. If it does that, then yes, higher levels could be met. Then we could target the 25.24 zone or the 26.05 territory right here, which previously acted as a very nice area of support, now could take the role of resistance. So that's why keep your eyes on today on this daily candle. If it stays above this area, then yes, next week, going into next week, we could see, yep, this one pushing further north. If it drifts back below this territory, below this 24.40 territory, this level here, then of course I'll take a bit of a neutral stand again, because for the downside, in order to consider the downside, a drop below this area is still required. This 22.89 zone marked by the low of the 6th of October, and if we get a break below this area, then yes, this would also place the price below the 100-day EMA, and what some sellers could see as a good indication of a further move lower. Now, jumping into Bitcoin, and this morning and yesterday I talked about Bitcoin for you guys to keep an eye. I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this, on these lines here, these two downside lines and the upside one. And what I was saying, if you want to aim for some higher levels, wait for a violation of these two downside lines here and a push above this 10,986 zone. Now, don't get me wrong, the day's not finished yet, so let's see if this daily candle is gonna stay here above this area. If it does, then yes, the next target is the high of 19th of September, or in other words, the highest point of September. And is that correct? Oh, nope, that's not the, sorry, not the highest point of September, but the high of 19th of September near the 11,185 zone. If it provides resistance, now this is where you have to be a little bit on the careful side, because if it provides resistance and we see the crypto kind of drifting back down again, then all eyes are going to be on this possible ascending triangle pattern here, guys. So if I'll quickly highlight what I'm talking about here, and this is and probably you already see it yourselves, but nevertheless, let me just put this one on the chart very quickly. So yes, the fact that we managed to get a nice push above these two downside lines, that's wonderful. Yep, higher levels could be met now. Just in case, like I said, be very careful near this 11,185 zone, because if it provides resistance, then and forces the price to decline back down again, to actually decline again, then yes, we will consider this idea of a possible ascending triangle. But of course, if we get a nice break above this, then ignore all that and just continue targeting higher levels. So for now, guys, keep your eyes on today's daily candle, and if it stays above this area, above these two downside lines, then yes, like I said, we'll continue aiming slowly to the upside. AUD/JPY, here the pair is popping nicely. So it took a week, it waited until Friday to make this pop here above this 76.12 zone. So I talked about this pair this week, and basically I was saying that if you want to aim for some higher levels, wait for that move, strong move above this 76.12 territory. At the moment we're getting that, exactly that, and if it stays here, this daily candle stays here above this area, then my next target here is this 77.6465 territory, and then we'll take it from there. With the downside, well, ideally, of course, I would like to see a drop below somewhere here, below the 74.83 zone, but given that we already have moved here to the upside, well, I will probably take a look at this little inside swing high here near the 75.75 territory. A nice good drop below it would also place the rate below the 21-day EMA, and maybe more sellers could see this as a good opportunity to step in. For now, everything's leaning a little bit more to the upside, so let's continue targeting that. GBP/JPY also pushing nicely, but unlike AUD/JPY, it's still struggling with the with this high here, the current highest point of this week near the 137.45 zone, this key barrier. And in order to aim for some higher levels, as I've mentioned to you guys in my recent videos where I was covering GBP/JPY, we need that confirmation break. Yes, the fact that we're trading above this upside support line taken from the low the 23rd of September, that's great news for the bulls, but just for that extra confirmation, wait for that break above this 137.45 territory. And jumping into USD CAD now, here you can see the pair is drifting nicely to the downside. It's confirming kind of it's almost actually just fell shy from a few pips of reaching my target, the one that I was talking about today and yesterday, this 1.3128 zone, and it drifted lower today. So unemployment rate came out much better than expected here from Canada today. So the expectation was for 9.7%, 9.7%, but it came out as 9%. So that's great news. You can see that the Canadian dollar is strengthening on that. Participation rate also, I think, if employment change, sorry, until employment change number, yes, came out much better than the forecast and even much better than the previous figure. So participation rate also increased. So yeah, everything's kind of working in favor here for the Canadian dollar. USD CAD is drifting lower on that sign, kind of on that sense. And now the big question here is, will this area here, this 1.3128 zone, will it provide support? If it does, then we could see something like this happening, where we could see a bit of a correction here back up. But if it breaks this, then yep, this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. So again, guys, for now, let's see how this area right here will play out. If it's just gonna continue trading above this area today, then we'll wait for next week. Maybe next week we'll get another chance here to do something with USD CAD. For now, everything is kind of worked out nicely here, exactly according to the plan that I talked about this week. So yep, I'll take that as a kind of as a accomplishment of my target, the 1.3128. So yep, wonderful news here. And finally, Euro USD. So this one is popping higher nicely. So yes, of course, as you understand, the US dollar is weakening. The pair is finally pushing above this barrier. I talked about this 1.18 zone right here, and let's see if this pair is able to remain above this area. If it does, if this daily candle is able to remain above this 1.18 zone, then yes, my next target here could be around the 1.1917 zone, or even higher. But again, for now, guys, the euro dollar is not the kind of the euro dollar pair is not the best, let's say, performer this week, so let's be very careful with it. Maybe going into next week, we'll have some bigger moves here. Some maybe it'll show us something more interesting. But the only, like I said, the only interesting thing right now is to keep an eye on this 1.18 zone. If this daily candle remains above this area, then yep, higher levels could be met. If it drifts back below the 118 and kind of stays here, then still I'll probably take a bit of a neutral stand here and wait for that daily candle to remain either above this 1.18 zone or below this 1.1696 territory. But again, for now, the downside is kind of slightly off the table. It's mainly the upside that I'm looking at. But like I said, we'll be very careful near that 1.18 zone. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate your time joining into this video on Friday especially. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend, guys. Stay safe, enjoy it, relax, and come back fresh on Monday, and join my video on Monday at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.